Moment of the sexual experience will ask the young lady who's your daddy.
This should be remixed. If Officer Akimov is watching, this could be the next Officer Akimov. Because just wait until you see what happens. Oh, Officer Akimov. Just wait until you see what happens. Oh, Officer Akimov. Just wait until you see what happens. Oh, Officer Akimov. Just wait until you see what happens. Oh, Officer Akimov is here. That's beautiful. Oh, Officer Akimov is here.
Who's your dad?
I'm doing it today by Pastor James David Manning.
No, I'm a Christian.
What a disaster. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know. That was really weird. Can you guys still hear me? Oh, I'm hearing myself coming back. That's weird. Are you guys hearing me twice every time? You're not. Okay, let's try now. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I'm still hearing myself. Okay, I think let's try now. No, I still didn't. I genuinely don't know where that's coming from. I genuinely don't know where that's coming from. I genuinely don't know where that's coming from. That's so bizarre. Let's see if we can get it going now. Let's see if we can get it going now. Yeah, I'm still hearing my own thing. Let's see if we can get it going now. Yeah, I'm still hearing my own thing. Let's see if we can get it going now. Yeah, I'm still hearing my own thing. Let's see if we can get it going on here. Yeah, I'm still hearing my own thing. Let's see if we can get it going on here. Yeah, I'm still testing. Let's see if we can get it going on here. Yeah, I'm still testing. Let's see if we can get it going on here. Yeah, I'm still testing. Let's see if we can get it going on here. Yeah, I'm still testing. Let's see if we can get it going on here. Yeah, I'm still testing. Let's see if we can get it going on here. Yeah, I'm still testing. How weird is this? Testing 1 2. 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 How weird is this? This is bad. Testing 1 2. How weird is this? 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 I just don't even know where this is coming from. I just don't even know where this is coming from. I just don't even know where this is coming from. I just don't even know where this is coming from. Can you hear me now? You can. But I'm also hearing myself on a delay. That's the weird thing. Let me unplug and replug my headphones. Okay, I plugged in headphones. I'm still hearing myself. How is that possible? Monitor is off. Doesn't really make any sense. Oh, wait a second. This entire time I was watching my stream in a different tab. Oh my God. Who just suggested that? That person deserves something. Who just said that? Astro Paladin, are you watching your own stream on a different tab? I was. That's exactly what I was doing. That's exactly what I was doing, and I've ruined the stream. Oh my God. What a fiasco. Oh my God, what a humiliation. Well, we figured it out, guys. We figured it out. Dear God, what an embarrassment. I have a tab going for ban adjudications, and I was watching my own stream. Holy shit. Well, listen, guys, we're here. Okay, we're here. And, okay, let's look at super chats first. That was fantastic. I love feedback. Good. Sir, your audio is up in the air. The feedback is devolving. Yeah, I really apologize for that. I don't even know if I have my Trump.
And are incredible. Oh, these people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
The Biden. Let me recover my ears for 1 second.
It's over. We figured it out. We're here because Joe Biden is set to announce a billionaire's tax. Now, this is very interesting because it is not... Okay, wait, what's going on now? Okay, nothing yet.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. This is not going to be a tax on wealth. They are going to use wealth to figure out whose income to tax. And the idea is, if you have a net worth over $100 million, you will have to pay a 20% minimum tax on all income, including unrealized stock gains. That's the idea. This is going to explode. And Joe Biden is set to announce this in about 20 minutes. Okay, so very, very important stuff. Let's get caught up. I want to thank some people who loved the feedback loop. Thanks to Jen here for signing up and gifting. Life is Good, Rexmo, Youngus, and Patty McNinja putting us at 6 for the day. I really very much appreciate that. I also want to let you guys know about something else, and this is a really big deal. We still have, let's do a different coupon code for today. We'll call the coupon code, let's do Obama. Obama! But we have enabled the gifting of memberships on our website by popular demand. You can now select any membership and check a box, which is this is a gift. And you have two options. If you have someone specific you want to gift a membership to, you will be prompted to enter their information. Or you can leave that blank and we will gift the membership to someone. If you want to request a free website membership, go to davidpacman.com/free membership. Now, I will tell you, in order to request one, you do need to be signed into a Google account. And because we're collecting your email address, since the memberships go by email, Google Forms requires that people be logged in to Google to submit the form. I apologize for that. It just is what it is, okay? So if you want to gift a membership, when you sign up, check the box that says this is a gift. If you want to receive a membership, go to davidpakman.com/free memberships. Okay. That's the gist of it. And we'll get it all figured out. And I would love to see, I did want to see, sorry, it's free membership, davidpakman.com/free membership. And what I want to see here is whether anybody has already done that. Just to make sure it's working. Free memberships. Nobody has done it yet. Okay, we are accepting responses. So if anybody wants a free membership, we can test that. And we'll see how all of that is going. But very, very exciting stuff. You need permission to sign it. Oh, damn. Let's see if I can fix that. See, this is why we test. This is why we test things. Okay, so I'm going to have to work on that. Let's see. Restricted. I need to figure this out. No. See, the problem is it's only letting me edit who can. I can't let everybody edit the thing. Okay, we'll have to figure that out at some other point. Okay, so that's not working, but we will we will get to that. Okay, we're standing by for Joe Biden to announce this whole thing. Real quick, let's get through a few things because I have some different things going on. First and foremost, people who want to be unbanned. User Ropo came here. And even though it had nothing to do with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, the other day he came in and said, Kyle was attacked. When you try to blow up a gas station, you're not a victim. Just a lot of Kyle Rittenhouse related stuff. They seem really annoying. I think I'm going to permaban. Okay. Next. Someone here showed up and said, stop muting, stop muting. It's annoying when Pakman mutes. LOL, stop muting, stop muting. Okay, they were banned. The whole point of watching stuff here is that sometimes I make comments. So if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. I will unban for now, but just repeatedly put don't mute and you'll be banned because the whole point here is that I do commentary, okay? Another user, 990, said, keep wasting your time in chat rooms being conditioned by professional psych crooks that use subliminal programming science. It's conspiratorial. And then they said, I'm sorry your generation can't handle Nazi medical experiments. Oh, okay, that's a permaban. That's anti-vax insanity. And then Robert Paulson said, should we not shun sex offenders? It doesn't matter if he was abused. You're still expected to follow laws if your childhood is terrible. They were banned. Yeah, that's an unban. I don't know why they were banned. That doesn't make sense. All right, so we're 2 for 2 on the unban requests. Fine. So we've gotten that taken care of. I also want to say thanks to Chief Boris and Dahen G with the Twitch Prime subscriptions. We had some massive technical issues at the beginning of the stream, but we're sort of working through them here. And it is not a bad thing. Okay, 2 people gifting subscriptions. Kevin Combs just gifted a subscription, and Ryan Anderson just gifted a subscription on my website. That's 9 and 10. This is great. So the subscription gifting is working. We'll count those. And then the question will be, who do we give them to? Now, here's the help I need. We created a Google form. We created a Google form for people to request free subscriptions, and nobody has access. But when I say share the Google form, it says I need to give them the ability to edit the form. I just want people to be able to fill out the form. So if anybody understands permissions, the right way to create a Google form to allow this, please email info@davidpakman.com and we'll get it set up right after the stream, okay? Looks like they're having some kind of technical issues here with the lectern. Very, very unusual stuff going on, but that's okay. We're watching it. Okay. I missed a bunch of super chats. Let's see if I can catch up on some of these. David, do you think the Will Smith punch was staged? You know, I thought so for a moment, but now I really don't think so because everybody reacted as if it was very real. So I don't think it was staged. Let's talk about that a little bit. This story has exploded. And one of the things I tweeted this morning was, I'm having a really hard time caring about the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. Can someone give me a hot take I can pass off on my own? And the thing about this is, there's like a couple layers here to what I was doing. First, it's like, can someone give me a hot take I can pass off as my own? I'm just kind of kidding around, you know what I mean? But what I mean by this is there's so much strife in the world right now that I have a hard time feeling that much one way or the other about this Hollywood drama at the Oscars, which I haven't watched in a decade and a half. I just kind of like don't really care. And this guy, Pete Dominic, who I don't know Pete. I mean, I guess he follows me on Twitter. I don't know him. He said, I love Pac-Man, but I'm seeing a lot of this from white progressives and white Twitter in general. I'm also seeing black Twitter caring a lot about it. Not a criticism, more of a question. Now, to me, it's strange to categorize me as a member of white Twitter. And I had two reactions to this. One was not a race story. If Johnny Depp slapped Alec Baldwin, I'd feel the same. It's just hard to relate to out-of-touch Hollywood when so many crazy things are going on. I also responded, I'm a Hispanic Jewish immigrant from Argentina. So I tend to avoid categorizations of this kind. And again, this isn't me denying that I look white or whatever, right? The point is, I don't know why my comment is being put under the umbrella of white Twitter. Like what? It just doesn't really make any sense to me. And Pete Dominic said, Pac-Man, thanks for the response. I really don't have a strong opinion. I'm just seeing and hearing this is a bigger issue for black folks. That may be true, but it's sort of weird to ascribe my post about I don't really care about privileged Hollywood elites slapping each other to me being part of, quote, white Twitter. I just found that kind of weird. Now, in the meantime, this is really strange. Dave Rubin's take on the entire thing. This is cultural critic Dave Rubin. Cultural critic and arbiter of ideas Dave Rubin. He reacted to what people would have said if Matt Damon slapped someone. I don't know why.
But because they know no one's paying attention, would you put it above the machinery of Hollywood to fabricate something like this? That Chris Rock makes a fairly innocuous joke. I mean, she's got a shaven head, and I'll talk more about alopecia in a sec, as I said. And that
he's going to talk to us about alopecia.
Will Smith so loses control. He's laughing at the joke at first, that he so lost control of himself that on an evening where he knows millions, even though it's not as many millions as it used to be, millions of people are watching, that he so lost control of himself that he walks up on stage calmly. He didn't bum rush the stage, right? He walks up there, smacks the guy, and just sits down. No security came and got him. Nobody, apparently during the commercials, there were some PR people saying something to him. But we could also add like the weird woke element of race to this. So it was black.
There's a woke element to this? I didn't know that.
On black violence, which people obviously treat a little bit differently, I suspect.
Whether you talk, some people talk about black on black violence in very bad faith, and some people talk about black on black violence in good faith. None of them are talking about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
That if Matt Damon had gotten out of the crowd, very pasty white Matt Damon had gotten out of the crowd and smacked Chris Rock, there would be riots in the streets.
Yes. Los Angeles would have been burned to the ground if Matt Damon slapped Chris Rock.
So there's a whole series of things. Like, do you put it past the Hollywood machinery that sort of seemingly is faking everything all the time in our culture and our politics, that this might have been staged? I don't know. Does that make me like a complete conspiracy theorist?
No, I mean, no. I also wondered, could it have been staged? That's not really the issue. I just don't think we were getting the Rodney King riots if it was Matt Damon doing the slap. I just don't believe that. Thanks to Dirtnap and Texas Bearclaw for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. You can also now gift subscriptions on our website. Jody Bundrick has just gifted one, and Jennifer DeVoe has as well. We will get those given to people soon. In terms of, okay, can't open a form. I love people. All right, so let's see here. Open a form at the top, click settings. We're going to get this all set up. At the top, click settings. I don't even see settings at the top. Oh, wait a second. Am I in the wrong? Oh, settings. Here we go. Responses. Click it out. Turn off to restrict users. Ah, there it is. Okay, beautiful. Guys, if you want to request a free membership, and right now I have 4 to give away, go to davidpakman.com/free membership, okay? And request a free membership. The first one is going to Adam Darling. Adam has just requested a free membership. Beautiful. The second one is going to Adam Vega. The third one to Sean Ross. And Danny McVeigh gets the fourth. Okay, so we've given away the 4 free memberships we have. 17 people want memberships. Now 23 people want memberships. Now 29 people want memberships. Now 34 people want memberships. Now 35. Okay, so listen, guys. I can only give away as many memberships as I have to give away. If you want to gift a membership, you can now do it on our website. I'll show people how to do this. This is all by popular demand. Actually, I should probably... Oh God, it's not even working. Jesus, it's a mess. Something weird's going on here. Anyway, there's a little box when you sign up now after you select the membership, which is this membership is a gift. Okay, if you check it, very good. All right, so you can gift them on the website. You can request them at davidpakman.com/free membership. We now have 61 people requesting free memberships. I don't know. We're doing the best we can. Super chats. Peter Schiff, the guy upset Zelensky didn't wear a suit when addressing Congress, thinks Biden's billionaire tax is unconstitutional. I don't think it's constitutional, but I do question whether it's politically viable, for sure. I think it's almost impossible that this tax will become a reality. But let's listen to the proposal first, and then we'll talk about it. Thanks to Shabibo's mom for gifting 2 subs and RSG2, that's 17. I did want to make a mimetic request. I would love it if people start submitting to me David Pakman Show related memes using this image. This is the slap image from yesterday. Top show related slap memes will be featured on probably Saturday night. We have a big Trump rally stream coming up. And if anybody submits some good slap memes, we will feature them on Saturday. So this image, I don't know where you can find this image. It's sort of everywhere. But it's got to be somehow related to the show. It could be related to like my reaction when people call in with bad audio. It could be anything. It's all fair game. When people mistype a coupon code, there's so many different ideas. But I do want to encourage people, set up your slap memes and send them to info@davidpakman.com. Okay, that's the place to send them. Send them. Thank you to Cranjies McBasketball as well as Hippie Chick for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, numbers 18 and 19. Also, thanks to Brian Bowers for signing up on my website. You are new member number 20. We are now able to accept gifted memberships on my website. 4 people have paid for gifted subscriptions, and 76 people have requested gifted subscriptions. Okay? So we are going to have to figure that out. Now let me see how we'll email people after the stream, okay, to give away those free ones. That's what we'll do. I can't think of any other way to do it. Also, thanks to Evan Lutz Music for the Twitch Prime subscription. Let's listen to a few voicemails. It's been quite a long weekend, and we have so many voicemails that came in. Certainly some of them are from Whitney.
So I was reading or watching Why on YouTube. It's like this Indian channel that's like world's biggest one or something like that. And they were saying that it was Prince Charles. What is it?
Man, I don't even know what she's talking about.
And I would also repute that you state that I have a 5-year race calling racism.
This is Troy York denying that he's been sending racist calls for 5 years.
Calling your program when my favorite podcasters are typically black males of Officer Tatum or Anthony Brian Logan, who the cowardly David Pakman would never debate.
Who's Anthony Brian Logan? I know Brian Tyler Cohen. I know John Wayne Gacy. But who is Anthony? What did he say? Anthony Brian Logan? Man, I don't know what he's talking about.
So the Middle East made the Bible and they made the redheads that came from the caves. And they want to preach about like ignorance and how like the mistreatment of slaves and stuff like that. Like people weren't allowed to have slaves when they leaked it to Europe.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, this is Troy York, Y-O-R-K. You smeared me on a YouTube video. That's all you political leftists. When you have no argument, when you don't want to discuss the facts and the truth, that Conchita Jackson is.
Her name's not Conchita. Oh, man. Okay. I want to. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Some more people gifted some subscriptions. Wait, what is going on here? This is crazy. Okay, I have a few more gifted subscriptions to give away. Brian Ressler, Jarek Osterreich Clark, Jody Bundrick, and another one from Brian Ressler. I have 4 more gifted website subscriptions, and they are going to, this is just in order that people request them. Tet Ninimaki, I hope I pronounced that correctly. John Roberts, Josh Zemian, and Caden Nelson, okay? We've had 81 free memberships requested. 8 of those have been funded. So we have a lot of unfunded liabilities here, and that's okay. In the order people request the memberships at davidpakman.com/free membership, we will give them away. After the stream, I'll email you with a code that you can use to sign up, okay? So we're gonna do that. And I have to tell you, if you want us to give away the membership, when you go through the gift process on our website, don't enter in any recipient. Because if you do that, we won't be able to give it away. Okay, very, very important. Also, Brian Ressler and Brian Steen gifting another 2, which will allow me to give away a membership to Jeremy Kerr and Hudson Markle. Okay? Oh, and wow, Brian Ressler giving away another one. Brian's an all-star. That will allow me to give one away to Ivan Valdez. This is great. Wow, we're really be able to give away a lot of these. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I'm all caught up with this stuff. I think so. Thanks also to Half Cabbage, G-Muck, Bazzy on Twitch, and then Chef Ramsey, who gifted 6, putting us at 34. Okay. And Brian Ressler gifting another one. Wow. Brian Ressler gifting number 35, which means I can give another membership away to Laura Roberts. Laura, thank you very much. Or I guess congratulations, you're the recipient. Let's keep going with voicemails as we await Joe Biden here. I do have a lot of them. Let's see who we've got here. Man, Whitney is just calling relentlessly.
So see how when Jewish people become like part of our society, they like embellish like what we're doing and our presence and stuff like that.
Horribly anti-Semitic, what she's saying.
Mr. Pakman, if you think that Joe Biden and the president administration, which I assume would be a very busy one, and if they met for 30 minutes with TikTok influencers, and if you think that there was no exchange of money discussed, then
yeah, there was, guys, it was a Zoom call. There's people who are saying that the Biden administration, quote, paid off TikTokers to promote their view on Ukraine. First of all, 99% of the world has the same view on Ukraine. Biden doesn't have to pay people to convince them Russia's in the wrong. That's number one. And number two, it was a Zoom call. There's no evidence whatsoever that the Biden administration paid TikTokers to get on a Zoom call. Now, if they had traveled to DC, you might be able to say, well, maybe they paid for the travel. It was a Zoom call, guys. That's it. They didn't pay anybody. Give me a break. Give me a break. Jennifer DeVoe has gifted another website membership, which I am able to give away to Brian Spurlock. If you want to request a free membership on my website, go to davidpakman.com/free membership. If you want to gift a membership on my website, go through the normal sign-up process and then check the box that says, this is a gift. This is a gift. Very easy to do. All right, let's listen to a couple other voicemails. I'm trying to get to something that's not Troy York or Whitney. Okay, here's Trollman, also known as Juan. I say Juan. I don't pretend to not understand Spanish, you know? People say, my name's Juan. Dude, give me a break. It's Juan.
Hey, David, it's Juan again. I have a question. I hope you can answer it.
Please.
What's wrong with conceding to the Republicans that any type of LGBTQ education, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, not be given, talked about, et cetera, for children that are between the grades of 1st and 6th grade?
Yeah, it's insane because what the bill does in Florida is prevent teachers from even acknowledging, oh, there's two daddies here. Okay? And if you issue such a blanket ban, really, teachers shouldn't be allowed, a heterosexual female teacher shouldn't be allowed to say that she has a male husband, because either way, you're talking about gender and relationships. So it's absolutely idiotic if you really take it to its full conclusion. I'm getting emails from people asking for free memberships. Unfortunately, those are going into the trash, guys. There is only one way to ask for a free membership, and it's to fill out the form at davidpakman.com/free membership. They're going to be given away in the order that people request them. If you email me asking for a membership, it's going in the trash. We can't, there's too many people interested to be able to do that. Okay? So for example, Lauren Morris just gifted a subscription on our website, and that subscription goes to Andrew Thompson. Do people understand how this is working? In the order that we have them to give away, we give them to people in the order that they request them. You can't email. If you email it, things get crazy. Also, thanks to Keela Ballin for signing up for a membership for herself at joinpakman.com. And lastly, thanks to GMuck for gifting a subscription on Twitch. I really appreciate that. Let's see what else we've got in the voicemail area. Oh boy.
So I noticed all you fucking British anarchists are in one spot looking for help from NATO. Just so you know, this looks like a big fucking anarchist shit. You're like being typed as like a fucking grandma, but you're a fucking wolf. Like,
yeah. All right, here is President Joe Biden.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, God, that's very
I'm
low.
Grateful to be here with the president as we release his budget for next year. As the director of the Office of Management and Budget, I deal with a lot of numbers and charts and graphs, and they all matter. But that's not ultimately what budgets are about.
Okay.
Budgets are value Grateful statements. to be here. They're about the kind of country we want to be and the type of future we want to leave our kids. And from day one, the president has been clear that my job as OMB director is to ensure that the government delivers for all people, and that our budget reflects our national values and priorities. I'm proud to say that's exactly what this budget does: invest in the American people in a fiscally responsible way. This budget will help ensure that prosperity is broadly shared, that we continue growing the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, that we make sure it works for working Americans who've been left out and left behind, who haven't benefited from the economic progress they helped make possible, that we are prepared to meet the full range of challenges and opportunities ahead of us. And it's a budget that includes proposals all Americans can come together around and that speak to our country's values at its best. And that's why it's my honor to introduce the President of the United States, Joe Biden.
All right, let's listen. Big deal.
Well, good afternoon, folks. It's been a busy couple days for all of you. Let me begin by saying that, thanking Director Young. You know, you've heard me say this before over the years. My dad had an expression. He said, "Don't tell me what you value."
The subtitles don't seem to be working, so we'll go over here.
Let me begin by saying that, thanking Director Young. You know, you've heard me say this before over the years. My dad had an expression. He said, "Don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget. I'll tell you what you value."
Right.
Don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget, and I'll tell you what you value. Well, the budget I'm releasing today sends a clear message to the American people that what we value. First, fiscal responsibility. Second, safety and security. And thirdly, the investments needed to build a better America. The first value is fiscal responsibility. The previous administration, as you all know, ran up record budget deficits. In fact, the deficit went up every year under my predecessor. My administration is turning that around. Last year, we cut the deficit by more than $350 billion. This year, we're on track to cut the deficit by more than $1,300 billion. $1,300 billion. That would be the largest one-year reduction in the deficit in U.S. history. And here's how we're achieving it, this record deficit reduction. First, we're growing the economy. We've created a record 6.7 million jobs since I took office, and we've generated a GDP growth of 5.7%, the best economic growth we've seen in this country in over 40 years. This has led to a substantial increase in government revenues and dramatically improved our fiscal situation. Secondly, this record economic and job growth has made it possible for us to responsibly and significantly cut back on emergency spending. Earlier in the pandemic, it was right to give people help to make ends meet and to keep this economy going. But because of the progress we've made dealing with these emergencies, the labor market is strong and unemployment claims are at historic lows. We ended the pandemic unemployment assistance programs because Americans are back to work. I'm calling for new pandemic subsidies for large businesses to not continue those because those businesses are back and moving again as well.
So he's against
that. Because we have to put this economy in a strong foundation, even the Delta and Omicron variants of COVID-19 and the cost of Putin's aggression in Ukraine have not required an additional fiscal package for state and local governments. But we still spend what we need to spend to continue to fight COVID. But those expenditures will be dramatically less than last year. Compared to 2020, we're reducing the size of the deficit relative to our economy by almost 2/3, reducing inflationary pressures, and making real headway cleaning up the fiscal mess I inherited. After my predecessor's fiscal mismanagement, we were reducing the Trump deficits and returning our fiscal house to order. Now, the budget I'm releasing today will continue this approach. It makes prudent investments in economic growth and more equitable economy while making sure corporations and the very wealthy pay their fair share. And I would add, Nobody making less than $400,000 a year will pay a penny more in federal taxes.
Okay.
We can do this by, one, passing legislation that lowers costs for families on things like child care, health care, and energy costs, while lowering our deficit at the same time. We can give hardworking parents raising children tax relief that gives them just a little bit of breathing room and lowers child poverty. We can give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices. This will bring down the cost for seniors and reduce the deficit by hundreds of billions of dollars. Congress can do this all right now. They're debating it now. We can also restore fiscal responsibility. The Trump tax cuts added $2 trillion in deficit spending and largely helped the rich and the largest corporations. Under my plan, as I said, no one making less than $400,000 a year will pay additional single penny in taxes. No one. If you don't make 400 grand, you're not going to pay a single penny in additional.
Oh boy. All right.
That's the average they pay. Now, I'm a capitalist, but if you can make $1 billion, great. Just pay your fair share. Pay a little bit. A firefighter and a teacher pay more than double the tax rate that a billionaire pays. That's not right. That's not fair. And my budget contains a billionaire minimum tax because of that. A 20% minimum tax that applies only to the top 1/100th of 1%.
That's the billionaire
1/100th
tax.
of 1% of the Americans will pay this tax. The billionaire minimum tax is fair, and it raises $360 billion that can be used to lower costs for families and cut the deficit. As I said, my budget also ensures the corporations pay their fair share. In 2020, there were 50 Fortune 500 companies that made $40 billion in profit combined, but didn't pay a single solitary cent in federal taxes. My budget raises the corporate tax rate to 28%, far lower than the rate it was between World War II and 2017 when it was lowered as it is today. Last year, I rallied more than 100, some of you were overseas with me, 130 countries to agree to a global minimum tax for corporations doing business in their countries, to put an end to a tax system that rewards multinational corporations for shipping the jobs and profits overseas and avoiding taxes at home. It's my hope that Congress enacts this law this year so I can sign it and we can get to work. The second value my budget reflects is security. Security at home and security abroad. My budget tackles security in two key ways. First, it secures our communities at home. This is an issue families in every part of the country face. I've said it before. The answer is not to defund our police departments. It's to fund our police and give them all the tools they need, training and foundation and partners and protectors that our communities need. The budget puts more police on the street for community policing, so they get to know the community they're policing, allows the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and the FBI to hire the agents they need to help fight gun crime and other violent crimes in our communities, and funds body cameras and make sure police work with our local communities and are accountable to these communities. It funds crime prevention and community violence intervention, drug treatment, mental health, criminal justice reform, and re-entry for people coming home after incarceration. All demonstrable ways to reduce crime and proven ways. Security also means national and international security. This budget provides the resources we need to keep Americans safe, ensuring that our military remains the best prepared, best trained, best equipped military in the world. This budget also provides additional funding to forcefully respond to Putin's aggression against Ukraine and its economic, humanitarian.
Just remember, guys, the president's budget is a political document. It's sort of a wish list. That's all it is. Trump's budgets were never passed. Just being upfront here.
Competition from other nation states, China and Russia, which are going to require investments to make things like space and cyber and other advanced capabilities, including hypersonics. And this will be among the largest investments in our national security in history. Some people don't like the increase, but we're in a different world today. America is more prosperous, more successful, and more just when it is more secure. We can restore fiscal responsibility and safeguard our security at home and abroad while meeting the third value, what I call building a better America. Let's provide universal preschool, cap the cost of childcare at 7% of a family's income. Like many families, that would cut the cost of childcare in half. It'll make college more affordable. My budget doubles the maximum Pell Grant. The families making under $50,000 a year to nearly $13,000, and helps more than 8 million students who rely on Pell Grants pay for college. My budget invests in building more homes to keep us up to deal with the skyrocketing cost of housing for the middle class and the poor. My budget lowers family energy costs with tax credits to help people make their homes more efficient. Research and development to broaden the reach of solar and build a clean energy future. My budget also invests in other areas of bipartisan common good. I call them unity agendas. I spoke to them at the State of the Union. Beating the opioid epidemic, taking on challenges of mental health, supporting our veterans, and ending cancer as we know it. This budget includes investments to get Americans the mental health services they need, and we need them. And when it comes to fighting cancer and other diseases...
Yeah, between this budget and Trump's new health care plan, which is coming out in the next 2 weeks, we've really got a lot of stuff happening.
And it stands for Advanced Research Projects for Health. It's based on DARPA, the Defense Department program, that led to breakthroughs in technologies like the internet, GPS, and so much more. ARPA-H will drive breakthroughs to prevent, detect, and treat diseases, including Alzheimer's, diabetes, cancers, and more. And here's what this all adds up to. Historic deficit reduction, historic investment in our security at home and abroad by modernizing our capabilities in both areas, and an unprecedented commitment to building an economy where everyone has a chance to succeed. A plan to pay for those investments that we need as a nation. That's what we do. So I look forward to working with the members of Congress, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, to deliver this budget and keep delivering for the American people. I want to thank you all, and may God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Let me, Kelly O'Donnell, NBC.
Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you believe what you said?
Let's see if here we can see the...
Let me, Kelly O'Donnell, NBC.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you believe what you said? Thank you, sir. Do you believe what you said, that Putin can't remain in power? Or do you now regret saying that because your government has been trying to walk that back? Did your words complicate matters?
Well, you asked 3 different questions. I'll answer them all. Number one, I'm not walking anything back. The fact of the matter is I was expressing the moral outrage I felt toward the way Putin is dealing in the actions of this man. Just brutality of it. Half the children in Ukraine. I had just come from being with those families. But I want to make it clear, I wasn't then, nor am I now, articulating a policy change. I was expressing the moral outrage that I feel, and I make no apologies for it.
Personal feelings?
My personal feelings. Secondly, you asked me about, what was the second part?
Complicate the diplomacy of this moment.
No, I don't think it does. You know, the fact is that we're in a situation where what complicates the situation at the moment is the escalatory efforts of Putin to continue to engage in carnage, the kind of behavior that makes the whole world say, "My God, what is this man doing?" That's what complicates things a great deal, but I don't think it complicates it at all. Let me go to Steve Holland, Reuters.
Mr. President, thank you. When you say that you're not walking anything back, you do feel that Vladimir Putin should be removed from power? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I was expressing, just what I said. I was expressing the moral outrage I felt towards this man. I wasn't articulating a policy change. And I think that, he continues on this course that he's on. He is going to become a pariah worldwide, and who knows what he becomes at home in terms of support.
Are you concerned this remark might escalate the conflict?
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. Look, the other thing is that a couple people have asked me as well. Might as well speak to it unless you want to ask.
Putin should not be in power is different than we're going to remove Putin from power. I mean, they're just two different things.
No. And has it weakened NATO? No, it hadn't. NATO has never, ever, 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 ever been as strong as it is today. Never.
So if saying he cannot remain in power does not mean regime change, what does it mean in your opinion?
It means that I would hope it was expressing my outrage. He shouldn't remain in power. Just like, bad people shouldn't continue to do bad things.
There you go.
But it doesn't mean we have a fundamental policy to do anything to take Putin down in any way.
What made you add that? Because that wasn't in your prepared remarks, we were told. So what made you add that at the end, Mr. President?
Because I was talking to the Russian people. The last part of the speech was talking to the Russian people, telling them what we thought.
I have no problem with what Biden said, nor with people asking him to clarify. It's fine.
This is just stating a simple fact that this kind of behavior is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And the way to deal with it is to strengthen and keep NATO completely united and help Ukraine where we can. Cleve, you had a question. Where is he?
Thanks, Mr. President. On your budget, you've said repeatedly at the State of the Union that you're not for defunding the police. I do wonder how much emphasis you think should be put on alternative forms of crime prevention, not just defunding the police, but crime reduction in communities.
Oh, a significant amount. I've laid that out in detail in the budget.
That's an example of no, I don't think we should put any money into that. It's like kind of it's a silly question.
Police need psychologists in the department as much as they need extra rifles. They need people who are in the department who can deal with the crisis that the police are going through as well, dealing with their crises, dealing with their mental state and how they're handling things. They need social workers engaged with them. I lay it all out. And it all works. If you see these community intervention programs, they work. They actually reduce crime. They significantly reduce crime. So that's a big piece of it.
Just a follow-up. Is any of it related to political pressure from Republicans saying that Democrats are soft on crime, that you guys are careening to the left?
Isn't it kind of fascinating? When I first got elected, I was being beat up because I supported the police too much for the previous 30 years. No. That's what I think.
Get vaccinated.
Ozma.
Surprised to get called. Thank you, Mr. President. Are you willing to try to meet with Vladimir Putin? And I have a quick follow-up to that. When you last met with him face-to-face in Geneva, you had described that as a productive conversation. You said that he did not want a Cold War. And do you feel, given the actions, though, that have happened over the last few months, I guess I'm asking what has changed in his mind?
I don't know what's changed his mind. His behavior's changed. When we met, remember what we were talking about. We're talking about setting up a strategic dialogue and talking about the relationship of NATO and Russia and facing off in the regions and how we could have more transparency and all the rest. It was a normal discussion I had going all the way back to Kosygin and others back in 100 years ago when I was a young senator. And so what changed was nothing remotely approaching that. Remember when he first met with me, he said, I have two objectives. This is the second or third time I met with him. He said, I have two objectives. One is to make sure that they never become part of NATO, and two, to make sure there are no long-range missiles in there, in Ukraine. I said, we could deal with the second one easily, but we can't close the door on the first. Because when we talk about missiles, we want to talk about what's also on the Russian border heading toward Europe. Do both. And then if you notice that demand list of his, not with me, with others, have escalated significantly in terms of what he thinks is necessary. Thank you very
We need some more clarification.
Mr. President, thank you. Thank you very much.
I know you're going to ask a really nice question.
Well, it's an important question, I think. Are you worried that other leaders in the world are going to start to doubt that America is back if some of these big things that you say on the world stage keep getting walked back?
What's getting walked back?
made it sound like just in the last couple days, it sounded like you told U.S. troops they were going to Ukraine. It sounded like you said it was possible the U.S. would use a chemical weapon.
What?
And it sounded like you were calling for regime change in Russia. And we know...
None of the three occurred.
Right.
None of the three occurred?
None of the three.
Mr. President?
You interpret the language that way. I was talking to the troops. We were talking about helping
clown.
train the troops that are the Ukrainian troops that are in Poland. That's what the context. I sat there with those guys for a couple hours. That's what we talked about.
So when you said you're going to see when you're there, you were not intending to
I was
see
referring to meeting with and talking with the Ukrainian troops who were in Poland.
And when you said a chemical weapon use by Russia would trigger a response in kind.
It will trigger a significant response.
What does that mean?
I'm not going to tell you. Why would I tell you? You got to be silly.
The world wants to know?
The world wants to know a lot of things. I'm not telling them what the response would be. Then Russia knows the response.
Obama.
All right, I'm going to take two more questions. 1, 2.
Mr. President, I still want to get back to your original words that he cannot remain in power. Can you help us understand, you have more foreign policy experience than any president who has ever held this office. Whether those are your personal feelings or your feelings as president, do you understand why people would believe you, as someone commanding one of the largest nuclear arsenals in the world, saying someone cannot remain in power is a statement of U.S. policy? And also, are you concerned about propaganda use of those remarks by the Russians?
No and no.
Tell me why. You have so much experience. You are the leader of this country.
Because it's ridiculous. Nobody believes we're going to take down. I was talking about taking down Putin. Nobody believes that. Number one. Number two, what have I been talking about since this all began? The only war that's worse than one intended is one that's unintended. The last thing I want to do is engage in a land war or a nuclear war with Russia. That's not
Honestly, how many times do they have to ask the same question?
Behavior of this man. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And it's more an aspiration than anything. He shouldn't be in power. People like this shouldn't be ruling countries, but they do. The fact they do, but doesn't
Guys, Duterte shouldn't be in power. Bolsonaro shouldn't be in power. Putin shouldn't be. But I don't want the U.S. removing them.
Efforts. But just to be clear, are you confident that Vladimir Putin sees it that way, that he will not use this as an escalatory...
I don't care what he thinks. Look, here's the deal. He's going to do what he's going to do. Putin, look...
But you're not concerned that he may see your language and view that as a sign of a reason for escalation, use that as an excuse to escalate, given his recent behavior?
Given his recent behavior, you should... Excuse me, I shouldn't say that to you. Given his recent behavior, people should understand that he is going to do what he thinks he should do, period. He's not affected by anybody else, including, unfortunately, apparently his own advisors. This is a guy who goes to the beat of his own drummer. And the idea that he is going to do something outrageous because I called him for what he was and what he's doing, I think is just not rational.
Oh.
You didn't say would you meet him again. Would you meet with President Putin ever again?
It depends. No, it's not a question of the question is there something to meet on that would justify him being able to end this war and be able to rebuild Ukraine? That's the issue.
Can you say yes or no, Mr. President, whether or not you would be willing to meet with President Putin
It depends on what he wants to talk about.
Thank you. Okay, last question.
What if he wanted to talk about negotiations? Now, what if he wanted
you said Supreme Court. Now, don't play that.
Well, you can't leave that hanging. Just real quick, two matters on the Supreme Court. While you were away, there were reports about the wife of Justice Thomas and texts that she had with former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Should Justice Thomas recuse himself from any cases involving the January 6th insurrection or former President Trump at this point?
I leave that to two entities.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Ask the second question.
No, two entities. Go ahead. Sorry.
One, the January 6th committee, and two, the Justice Department. That's their judgment, not mine to make.
So, on Justice Thomas recusing, you don't think he should, or?
I said that. I told you those things get into legal issues. That in fact, I told you I would not tell the Justice Department what position to take or not take.
Fair.
And I'm not going to instruct the Congress either.
And did you get any chance to watch much of the Judiciary Committee hearings?
I didn't get a chance to see any of it, unfortunately.
The fact that Republicans were questioning Judge Jackson on matters like former sentences related to child pornography cases or the definition of a woman. Does that, as the former chairman of the Judiciary Committee, make sense to you?
Look, this is one of the most qualified nominees ever nominated for the Supreme Court.
True.
In every respect, in terms of her disposition, her intellectual capacity, her experience and background, serving on 3 additional courts, a woman who is totally, thoroughly qualified, and will be a great addition to the court in my view. Thank you.
And there goes Joseph R. Biden Jr., the President of the United States, taking, I would say he took a dozen questions. He really took 3 questions, but a couple of the questions were asked like 10 times. We are going to be banning a bunch of really annoying people. Some guy just came in and said, hey, so you're basically Hassan without memes, huh? You're banned. I don't need you here. Just go away. Go watch Hassan or whatever. I mean, I just don't care. All right. Very, very important announcements of all sorts. I want to say thanks to C Missile, Nannermom, and Under the Screen, putting us at 42 for the day. Also, thank you to Adam Gingrich and Adam Gingrich gifting 2 subscriptions, which I will be able to give away to Timothy Jugovich and Kelvin Priest. If you want a free membership on my website, request it at davidpakman.com/free membership. 155 memberships have been requested. Thanks to the generosity of today's viewers, I will be able to gift 16, and people will get emails in the next hour or 2 with information on how to claim those. I already gave the names of the first 16. That's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me, and we will be back very, very soon.